Captain Arik stared at the stars through the small viewport of his spaceship, the horizon's edge. For years he had explored distant systems, cataloging planets, studying alien life, and facing dangers that few humans could imagine. Yet today, as he drifted near the outer rim of the Zytheria system, he felt a strange sense of anticipation. Something unusual was about to happen. He could feel it. A soft chime echoed through the cockpit. Arik turned to see a holographic projection flicker to life before him. A regal figure appeared, a shimmering being with delicate features, tall and elegant, with eyes that glowed faintly in shades of blue and silver. Captain Arik, the figure spoke, its voice calm yet commanding. You are requested on Zytheria, the home of Princess Liara. Our family wishes to meet you. This is not a request, it is a tradition. Arik blinked. Tradition? What kind of tradition requires a human captain to visit an alien royal family? The hologram paused as if considering how much to reveal. It is our custom to invite potential allies to join in the sacred bond of unity. Your presence is required to honor this practice. Before Arik could ask more questions, the projection disappeared. A soft note remained in his communication panel. Coordinates for Zytheria enclosed. Arrival expected within 2 standard rotations. He leaned back in his chair, running a hand over his face. Humans were known for many things: curiosity, courage, and ingenuity, but walking into a royal alien family's customs without knowing the rules sounded like a disaster waiting to happen. Still, Arik was not the type to back away. Curiosity outweighed caution. Within hours, the horizon's edge entered Zytheria's orbit. Arik gasped at the sight below. The planet was breathtaking. Towering crystalline spires reflected the light of 3 suns, casting rainbows across the floating gardens suspended above vast oceans. Energy bridges shimmered between the cities, connecting towers that seemed to defy gravity. Alien life moved gracefully through the air, gliding on currents of light or floating platforms. It was unlike any world he had ever seen. A landing platform descended, enveloped in soft golden light. Arik piloted the ship carefully, touching down smoothly. As the hatch opened, a figure approached. Liara. She was taller than humans, with luminous skin that seemed to ripple like liquid silver under the suns. Her eyes held intelligence and curiosity, but also a kind of sadness, as if the weight of responsibility rested heavily on her shoulders. Captain Arik, she said, her voice melodic yet steady. Welcome to Zytheria. Princess Liara, Arik replied, bowing slightly out of respect. It's an honor. Before he could say more, the doors of a massive palace opened behind her. A group of beings emerged, Liara's family. Each one carried an air of authority, their clothing glowing faintly with energy threads that indicated rank. The tallest among them, a man with sharp features and deep amber eyes, stepped forward. Captain Arik, he said, tradition demands that you meet our family, for our daughter has chosen you as a candidate to join in the sacred union that strengthens the bonds between our peoples. Arik felt a knot tighten in his stomach. Union? I don't understand. Why me? The elder alien's gaze was steady. You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and adaptability, qualities that our princess's future requires. You are worthy of meeting her not as a stranger, but as someone who may protect, guide, and share knowledge with our civilization. Arik swallowed. The thought of marriage, alien or human, was overwhelming, yet he could see no room for refusal in their eyes. It was clear that this was not a choice he could ignore. Very well, he said carefully. I will meet your family properly. The palace was unlike anything Arik had ever seen. It was constructed entirely of crystalline structures, glowing softly from within. The wall seemed alive, shifting subtly as if reacting to presence. Floors were transparent, allowing him to see gardens and creatures floating beneath. Soft hums filled the air, like a song only the building could sing. Liara, led him to a chamber where a large circular table floated in the air. The family took their seats effortlessly, each figure radiating authority. Arik remained standing, unsure of the proper etiquette. "You may sit," Liara said gently, gesturing to a levitating chair that adjusted to his size. As he sat, he noticed an array of strange devices around the room. Floating orbs that projected images of other planets, streams of data flowing through the air like light ribbons. The technology was advanced beyond anything Earth had ever created, yet it seemed organic, almost alive. The elder spoke again. "Our customs may seem unusual, Captain Arik. You will be observed, tested in ways that honor our traditions. Courage alone is not enough. Intelligence, compassion, and the ability to adapt are equally important." Arik nodded, trying to appear calm despite the racing thoughts in his mind. "I understand. I will do my best." Liara stepped closer. "Do not fear, Captain. I am not a stranger to your ways. I have studied human behavior and culture extensively. You will find that understanding each other may be easier than you think." Arik gave a small smile. Her words were comforting, though he still felt out of his element. Over the next few hours, the family introduced Arik to Zetherian customs. They explained the importance of unity and trust, the sacred rituals that bonded families and allies, and the responsibilities expected of someone who might one day share life with a royal member. "Many who come here for the first time are overwhelmed," Liara said, noticing the tension in Arik's shoulders. "Our customs are complex, but they are built to preserve peace, knowledge, and growth. It is not about control, but about harmony." Arik marveled at the depth of their culture. It was unlike anything he had seen among humans, ancient yet futuristic, disciplined yet filled with creativity and compassion. Still, a part of him wondered if he was truly ready to meet the expectations they had placed on him. That night, Arik was shown to a guest chamber, a space suspended above the palace gardens. From his window, he could see the three suns setting, behind crystalline mountains casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the sky. For the first time in his life, Arik felt the vastness of the universe and the smallness of a single human life. Yet he also felt a spark of determination. Humans had always thrived in impossible circumstances. Perhaps this would be no different. As he prepared for the coming days, Arik reflected on what lay ahead. He would be observed, tested, and guided through alien traditions. The family's insistence on this union was not just about ceremony, it was about trust, alliance, and survival. He knew the path would not be easy, but he also sensed that his ingenuity and courage might prove invaluable. The next morning, Arik met Liara again. "You slept well?" she asked, a faint smile on her face. "Yes," he replied, feeling a little more confident. "And I think I understand more about your world now." "Good," she said. "Today begins your first trial, not of strength but of understanding. You will need to navigate Zetheria's culture, its technology, and its challenges. But do not worry. I will guide you." As Arik followed her through floating corridors and gardens suspended in midair, he realized that this journey would test more than his skills as a human captain. It would test his ability to connect, to understand, and perhaps even to change the fate of an entire civilization. For the first time in a long while, Arik felt excited rather than afraid. Humans had always found a way to thrive in the unknown. And now, on the alien world of Zetheria, he would have the chance to prove it once again. Little did he know, the days ahead would bring challenges that no human had ever faced before. Challenges that would demand courage, ingenuity, and a heart willing to bridge the gap between worlds. And at the center of it all would be Liara, the princess whose family had insisted on his presence, and whose life was about to intertwine with his in ways he could not yet imagine. The morning sun of Zetheria bathed the palace in a soft golden glow, reflecting off the crystal spires and casting colorful patterns across the floating gardens. Captain Arik followed Princess Liara through corridors that seemed to float in midair. Every step was an experience, The floors were translucent, showing glimpses of gardens, streams, and hovering creatures below. The palace felt alive, as if it were aware of each visitor and moved in harmony with them. "Today you will begin the first of your trials," Liara said, her voice calm but firm. "The purpose is not to test your strength, but your understanding of our culture, our people, and the responsibilities of those who wish to unite with Zytheria." Arik nodded. He had faced dangers among stars and in uncharted worlds, but this felt different. This trial was not about lasers or alien creatures. It was about wisdom, empathy, and adaptability. Qualities humans often took for granted, but that could make the difference between success and failure in unfamiliar worlds. Their first stop was the Council of Knowledge, a vast hall filled with holographic displays of Zytheria's history, science, and culture. Members of the royal family and several elders watched Arik with keen interest. "The first trial is observation," said an elder with glowing amber eyes. "You must learn quickly and demonstrate insight. Understanding Zytheria is more than seeing. It is perceiving the purpose behind actions, technology, and traditions." Arik studied the holograms. Streams of data floated in the air, showing the evolution of Zytherian cities, the growth of their technology, and the patterns of their energy systems. The level of intelligence and creativity was astounding. It reminded him of Earth's finest minds, but amplified by centuries of collective wisdom. "Captain Arik," Liara said, touching a holographic projection, "our energy systems are based on balance, not force. The flow of energy connects every building, every garden, and even the protective shields around our cities. Can you detect any imbalance in the simulations?" Arik examined the data carefully. After several moments, he pointed to a region where the energy pulses were slightly irregular. "Here," he said. "The flow seems disrupted in that section. If left unchecked, it could affect nearby areas." The elder nodded, impressed. "Correct. Few outsiders notice such subtleties. Your attention to detail and understanding of systems is valuable." Liara smiled. "See, Captain, your human perspective offers insights we sometimes overlook. This is why we chose to observe you." Feeling encouraged, Arik continued through the hall, interacting with holograms and asking questions. He discovered Zytheria's methods for communication, transportation, and resource management. Every answer revealed the aliens' incredible ingenuity, but also how adaptable they were to change, something Arik knew humans excelled at. By midday, the trial shifted from observation to problem-solving. Liara led him to a garden filled with floating platforms and streams of glowing liquid. "This is our balance garden," she explained. "It simulates environmental conditions. Your task is to restore harmony to a section where energy and life flow are disrupted." Arik studied the area. Plants were wilting on some platforms and small energy nodes flickered irregularly. He noticed the liquid streams were slightly off course, threatening the delicate ecosystem. Using his understanding of patterns and cause and effect, Arik adjusted energy nodes and redirected the streams. Slowly, the garden stabilized. Plants began to shimmer and the platforms floated evenly. "Excellent," Liara said, her eyes sparkling with approval. "You see beyond the surface. You can sense imbalance and act to restore it. That is exactly what this trial measures: the ability to perceive, analyze, and solve problems in unfamiliar systems." Arik felt a surge of pride. Humans were often underestimated in alien worlds, yet here he was, proving that ingenuity, observation, and quick thinking could match, or even surpass, advanced alien intelligence. Next came a cultural trial. The royal family wanted to see if Arik could understand Zytherian emotions, traditions, and rituals. He was brought to a large hall where holographic projections displayed important events from Zytherian history, celebrations, alliances, and moments of conflict. "You must interpret the intentions and emotions of our ancestors," Liara explained. "Understanding history is key to understanding the present and future." Arik watched carefully. He noticed subtle cues in the gestures, timing, and expressions of the holographic figures. Some decisions were driven by compassion, others by strategy or necessity. By the end of the exercise, he was able to predict the outcomes of decisions in simulated conflicts and propose solutions that honored Zetherian values. The elder nodded approvingly. Few outsiders grasp the reasoning behind our traditions. You not only see what is done, but why it is done. That is essential for anyone who seeks to join our alliance. Finally, Liara guided him to a practical trial of courage and adaptability. They were taken to the edge of the floating city, where energy storms were common. Normally, no human could navigate the shifting energy currents safely. Yet, the trial required Auric to cross a series of floating energy bridges, each reacting to his weight, speed, and choices. Auric took a deep breath. "I've crossed dangerous terrain before," he said. "Let's do this." With Liara observing closely, he stepped onto the first bridge. It shimmered and shifted beneath him, forcing him to adjust constantly. Using a combination of balance, observation, and quick thinking, he moved carefully but confidently. Several times he paused to study the energy flows, predicting how the bridge would shift next. Halfway through, a sudden surge caused a platform to tilt sharply. Auric leaped, grabbing a nearby energy rail, and swung himself to safety. Liara's expression showed genuine respect. Humans were indeed capable of adapting to unfamiliar dangers with creativity and courage. When he reached the other side, the elder's voice echoed in the wind. "Captain Auric, you have passed all trials today. Observation, understanding, problem-solving, and courage. You have demonstrated all qualities we value." Auric exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. The trials had tested him in ways he never expected. He realized that the alien family's insistence on this process was not arbitrary. They sought not just a partner for their princess, but someone capable of understanding and contributing to their civilization. Liara approached him. "You see, Captain, these trials are not meant to intimidate. They are meant to reveal the true nature of those who step into our world. You have proven that humans can rise to challenges with wisdom, courage, and respect for others." Auric smiled. "I didn't expect this at all, but I feel like I understand your world a little better now, and I respect it." Liara's eyes sparkled. "And I respect you. You have shown that humans are not just curious, but capable of empathy, intelligence, and courage. These are qualities we admire, and qualities that our people need." As the sun set over Zetheria, painting the crystalline towers in hues of pink and gold, Auric felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had faced trials that tested his mind, heart, and body, and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more confident. That night, in his chamber above the palace gardens, Auric reflected on the day. He realized that human qualities, adaptability, courage, and ingenuity could shine even in worlds far beyond Earth. He was no longer just a visitor or explorer. He had begun to earn the trust of an entire civilization. Liara appeared at his window, her form glowing softly in the twilight. "The trials are only the beginning, Captain Auric. There will be more challenges, more lessons to learn. But I have faith in you. Humans have a remarkable ability to thrive, even in the most alien circumstances. I think you will surprise many of us." Auric nodded, feeling a warmth of friendship and mutual respect growing between them. He knew that the journey ahead would test him further, his courage, his intelligence, and perhaps even his heart. But for the first time, he felt ready to meet those challenges. And as the three sons of Zetheria sat behind the distant mountains, casting a glow across the floating gardens, Captain Auric understood one thing clearly. Humans had a place in the stars, and he was determined to prove it, not just for himself but for all of humanity. The trials of understanding had begun, and Auric was prepared to face every challenge, knowing that his ingenuity and courage could bridge the gap between worlds. The morning air over Zetheria was calm, the floating gardens glowing softly in the light of the three suns. Captain Auric had spent the previous day learning more about the planet's culture, technology, and the responsibilities of those who might one day join the royal family. He had begun to feel a connection to Liara, the princess who had guided him through the trials, and a sense of belonging among the alien people who had so far treated him with curiosity and respect. But peace is often fragile, even on a planet as beautiful and advanced as Cytheria. As Arik walked through the city with Liara, a sudden alarm echoed across the sky. The usually serene energy bridges began to pulse violently, and the transparent floors of the palace shimmered with warning lights. Citizens paused, glancing up at the sky. "What is happening?" Arik asked, his voice tense. Liara's expression turned serious. "A rival faction from the neighboring system of Orvaxis has attacked. They seek to overthrow the royal family and take control of our planet. This is the first real test of your courage and ability to adapt, Captain." Before Arik could respond, a fleet of sleek black ships appeared on the horizon. They moved with precision, their weapons charging with an eerie blue energy. The sky, which had been peaceful moments ago, now crackled with tension. "The palace. Shields will hold for only a short time," Liara said. "We must act quickly." Arik felt a surge of determination. Humans had faced danger countless times on Earth and beyond. While he had never fought an alien fleet before, he knew that quick thinking, strategy, and courage could make a difference. Liara led him to the command hall, a massive chamber filled with holographic displays of the city, energy shields, and the attacking ships. Members of the Royal Council worked quickly, coordinating defenses. "You will need to assist," Liara said. "Use your experience and perspective to find solutions we might overlook. Humans have a unique way of thinking that is unpredictable." Arik approached the holographic map. He studied the fleet's formation and noticed something the aliens had not. "Their ships are fast, but they follow a predictable energy pattern," he said. "If we can disrupt their formation with targeted pulses, we can create openings in their attack." Liara's eyes widened. "That is ingenious. We have considered defense, but not this approach. Show me how it works." Working quickly, Arik suggested adjustments to the energy shields, creating synchronized pulses that confused the attacker's sensors. The black ships wavered in formation, their attacks missing by fractions of a second. Citizens on the ground cheered as energy beams bounced harmlessly off the shields. "Captain Arik, your strategy is saving lives," Liara exclaimed. She glanced at the Royal Council, who nodded in approval. Even the elders, known for their reserved demeanor, showed signs of amazement. But the battle was far from over. A group of Orvax's ships managed to breach the outer defenses and targeted a section of the floating gardens. These gardens were not only beautiful, they housed energy nodes critical to the city's stability. If they were damaged, the entire city could collapse. Arik's mind raced. He needed a way to protect the gardens without risking civilians. "We can create a diversion," he said, pointing to a nearby cluster of energy platforms. "If we redirect the energy flow temporarily, we can lure their ships away from the gardens." Liara smiled. "Do it, Captain. I trust your judgment." Arik coordinated with the city's energy engineers, directing energy to shift along specific platforms. The enemy ships followed the shifting currents, leaving the gardens untouched. With the attackers distracted, Cytherian defense teams launched countermeasures that forced the Orvax's ships to retreat. The city erupted in celebration, but Arik remained focused. He knew the Orvax's faction could return with stronger forces. "This may not be over," he said quietly to Liara. She nodded. "You are right, but today you proved that humans are capable of thinking beyond what we anticipate. Your creativity saved lives and strengthened our defenses." As the sun set, painting the crystal towers in deep shades of red and purple, Arik and Liara walked among the citizens who had come to see the aftermath. Children pointed at him, curious about the human who had helped protect their world. "You have made a strong impression, Captain," Liara said. "Not just on me, but on the people of Cytheria. They see that humans can contribute not just in thought, but in courage and action." Arik smiled, feeling a warmth he had not experienced in years. Humans often doubted their place among the stars, but here, far from Earth, he had proven that human ingenuity and bravery could shine even in an alien world. Later, in the quiet of the palace gardens, Liara led him to a platform overlooking the city. The lights of the floating bridges shimmered like a river of stars. "You handled yourself well today," she said softly. "But courage alone is not enough. Leadership, empathy, and understanding are equally important. You have shown all of these, Captain Arik. That is why your presence here is significant, not because tradition demands it, but because your character earns it." Arik nodded. "I faced danger before, but this was different. I had to think quickly, understand unfamiliar technology, and act without hesitation. Humans have always adapted to new challenges. I guess it's what we do." Liara's expression softened. "And it is what makes humans remarkable. Your ability to adapt, to find solutions in unexpected ways, is why I believe you are worthy. Not because of ceremony, but because of merit." That night, as Arik lay in his chamber above the floating gardens, he reflected on the day's events. The battle had tested him in ways he could not have imagined, not with brute force, but with strategy, observation, and ingenuity. Humans were often underestimated by other species, yet here, he had proven that adaptability, intelligence, and courage could turn the tide of even the most advanced alien conflict. He thought about the citizens he had helped protect, about Liara's words, and about the royal family's expectations. The trials had prepared him in part, but the real test, of bravery, ingenuity, and the ability to forge trust, had only begun. The next morning, Arik joined Liara in the Council of Knowledge. The elders discussed rebuilding the sections damaged in the attack and improving defenses for the future. Arik contributed ideas that combined human practicality with Zytherian technology, suggesting ways to enhance shield efficiency and city-wide energy flow. The council was impressed. One elder spoke. "Captain Arik, your contributions are not just valuable, they are vital. Your perspective as a human provides solutions we had not considered. You have proven that unity between species is not just possible, but essential." Liara's eyes met Arik's. "See, Captain? Today was more than a battle. It was a demonstration of trust, cooperation, and the potential of humans in our world. You are becoming part of Zytheria, not just as an ally, but as someone who strengthens our civilization." Arik smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He had arrived as a visitor, unsure of his place. Now he was trusted, respected, and valued. Humans had a reputation for ingenuity and bravery, and today he had embodied both, proving that even in the farthest reaches of space, humanity could make a difference. As the suns set behind the crystal spires, Arik and Liara stood side by side, looking at the city they had helped protect. The floating bridges shimmered, the gardens glowed softly, and the citizens moved safely beneath the watchful shields. "Tomorrow will bring new challenges," Liara said, "but I have no doubt that you will continue to rise to them. Humans are remarkable, Captain Arik, and you have shown the best of your kind today." Arik nodded. "Thank you, Princess. I've learned that courage and intelligence are not just about facing danger. They're about thinking, observing, and acting in ways that others might not expect. And I'm ready for whatever comes next." The stars above Zytheria twinkled like distant lanterns, a reminder of the vast universe that stretched beyond the floating gardens and crystalline towers. Captain Arik understood something profoundly important. Humans had a place among the stars. They could thrive, adapt, and make a difference wherever they went. And with allies like Liara and the people of Zytheria, the future looked brighter than he had ever imagined. For now, the threat had passed, but the lessons of courage, strategy, and adaptability would remain. And Arik knew that his journey had only just begun. The universe was vast, and humanity had a role to play, one that would require ingenuity, courage, and heart. The skies above Zytheria glowed softly in the early light of the three suns. After the Orvaxis attack, the city had begun to recover. Floating gardens were being repaired, energy nodes stabilized, and the citizens went about their lives with a renewed sense of hope. Captain Arik walked alongside Princess Liara, feeling a mix of pride and curiosity. "You have done more than prove your courage, Arik," Liara said gently. "You have earned the trust of my family and our people. But trust is not enough. Understanding each other is what truly matters." Arik nodded. He had learned to adapt to Zetheria's technology and to think creatively under pressure. But he realized that building relationships with the people and with Liara herself was something far more subtle and far more important. Liara led him through a floating garden suspended high above the city, where luminous plants glowed in patterns, like constellations. Streams of sparkling liquid flowed gently between platforms, and small creatures hovered near flowers, pollinating them with delicate precision. "This garden is one of the oldest on Zetheria," Liara explained. "It symbolizes balance between life and energy, tradition and innovation, our people and the world around us. I want you to experience it fully, to see how we value harmony in every aspect of life." Arik observed the garden carefully. The floating platforms shifted gently underfoot, requiring him to adjust his balance constantly. The plants were delicate, yet resilient, and the creatures that moved among them seemed to respond to the energy flowing through the gardens. "It's beautiful," Arik said. "It's like the entire planet is alive and every part depends on each other to survive." Liara smiled. "Exactly. And that is what I hope you understand about Zetheria. Every decision you make here, every action, affects others. Humans are skilled at thinking quickly and solving problems. Here you must also think about balance and consequence." As they walked, Liara shared stories of Zetheria's history, how her ancestors had built the floating cities, how they had survived storms and conflicts, and how their people valued both knowledge and compassion. Arik listened closely, noting the parallels between Zytherian values and those humans often held dear: courage, ingenuity, and the desire to protect others. Later, Liara led him to a platform overlooking the city, where they could watch the citizens going about their daily routines. Humans had always thrived in challenging environments, and Arik realized that he saw the same determination reflected in these aliens. "Do you see, Arik?" Liara said. "Our people are strong, but they also rely on each other. Leadership is not about commanding. It is about understanding, guiding, and supporting." Arik nodded, feeling a deeper connection not only to Zetheria but also to Liara. He had faced danger, solved complex problems, and proven his bravery. But now he was learning something just as important: the value of trust, empathy, and partnership over. The next few days, Arik spent time with Liara in various parts of the city. He helped analyze energy systems, offering human solutions that enhanced efficiency. He joined her in observing citizens' training exercises, noting how strategy and creativity worked hand in hand. And he began to understand Zetherian customs more deeply: their rituals of respect, their methods of conflict resolution, and their emphasis on cooperation rather than competition. One evening, as the suns began to set in a cascade of pink and gold, Liara invited Arik to a private chamber filled with historical artifacts. Crystalline sculptures, holographic records, and ancient scrolls covered the walls. "These artifacts represent our ancestors' achievements," Liara explained. "Each one tells a story of courage, innovation, and wisdom. I want you to see how our history shaped the present and how the future depends on understanding it." Arik walked slowly among the artifacts, touching the holographic displays to examine energy patterns, construction methods, and historical records. He realized that Zetheria had thrived because its people valued both knowledge and adaptability, qualities humans shared in their own way. "Your perspective is fascinating, Arik," Liara said softly. "Humans often see things differently, yet your insights complement ours. You remind me that even in the most alien world, understanding comes from curiosity, observation, and courage." Arik felt a warmth in his chest. He had come to Zetheria as a visitor, uncertain of his place. Now he was being recognized not just for his actions, but for his ability to understand and connect. As days passed, the bond between Arik and Liara deepened. They shared stories of Earth and Zetheria, laughed at cultural differences, and even debated solutions to theoretical problems. Arik taught her about human inventions and strategies, while Liara introduced him to Zytheria's advanced technologies and philosophies. One afternoon, Liara guided Arik to a suspended observation deck overlooking a vast canyon filled with shimmering energy flows. The air was calm, and the view was breathtaking. "Arik," Liara said, turning to him, "you have a choice to make. You may return to your world, or you may stay here with us. The decision is yours, but understand this. Staying means accepting responsibility, not just to me, but to my people and this planet." Arik paused. Returning to Earth was tempting. He missed the familiarity of his home planet, the people he knew, and the freedom of exploration. But he also felt a growing sense of purpose here, a feeling that his actions could truly make a difference. He began, searching for the right words. "I never imagined I'd feel this connection to another world, but I've learned that humans can adapt, understand, and contribute, no matter where we are. I think I want to stay. I want to help, to learn, and to grow with your people." Liara's eyes brightened. "Then you have made the right choice, Arik. Not because of duty, but because of your heart and your understanding. That is what our union and your place here truly represents." The royal family was informed of Arik's decision. Their response was measured but approving. They recognized that he had proven himself through courage, intellect, and empathy. Tradition had brought him here, but his character had earned their respect and trust. In the following days, Arik worked closely with Zytherians on projects to enhance city infrastructure, improve energy flow, and develop defenses against potential future threats. His human ingenuity complemented their advanced technology, producing solutions that neither species could have achieved alone. One evening, after a long day of planning and experimentation, Arik and Liara sat together in the gardens. The floating platforms glowed softly under the light of the 3 moons that had risen alongside the setting suns. "Arik," Liara said, "you have shown that courage is not just about facing danger. It is about understanding, empathy, and the willingness to contribute to something greater than oneself. Humans have a unique strength in that regard. You are helping us see our world in a new way." Arik smiled. "I've learned a lot from your people as well, Liara. Zytheria has taught me that courage and intelligence must be balanced with compassion and understanding. Humans can adapt, yes, but we can also learn from others, and that makes us stronger." Liara reached out, placing a hand lightly on his. "Together we can face whatever challenges come. Your human qualities combined with Zytherian wisdom create something remarkable. I believe our alliance, our partnership, will benefit both our peoples for generations to come." Arik felt a sense of peace he had never known. He had arrived on Zytheria as an uncertain visitor, but now he was part of a community, part of a purpose, and part of a bond that transcended worlds. Humans had a place among the stars, not just as explorers, but as contributors, allies, and friends. As night fell, the glowing city below reflected the stars above, and Arik understood the truth of Liara's words. Courage and ingenuity were important, but so were empathy, understanding, and the willingness to embrace new worlds and new relationships. Humans could thrive anywhere, not because of strength alone, but because of heart, intelligence, and adaptability. And as the moons rose over Zytheria, Captain Arik and Princess Liara stood side by side, ready to face the future together, united by trust, respect, and the shared belief that humanity could rise to any challenge, no matter how alien the world might be. The sun rose over Zytheria, casting its 3 golden beams across the floating gardens and crystalline towers. Captain Arik stood beside Princess Liara, looking out over the city that had become both a home and a responsibility. The events of the past weeks, the trials, the attack, and the bonding, had changed him. Humans were capable of courage, ingenuity, and adaptability. But here he had also learned the importance of empathy, trust, and partnership. Liara turned to him with a Gentle smile. Arik, the Royal Council has approved your place here. You are now recognized not just as an ally, but as a partner, someone who strengthens our civilization with your insight and courage. Arik nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. I never imagined I would find this, Liara, a world so advanced, a people so remarkable, and the chance to contribute. Liara placed a hand lightly on his arm. Your human qualities, your curiosity, your adaptability, your courage, have made this possible. Together, we can achieve more than either of us could alone. The city buzzed with energy as citizens went about their routines. Engineers maintained the energy nodes, gardens floated gracefully, and the shields that protected the city shimmered faintly in the sunlight. Arik noticed children playing near the platforms, glancing at him with curiosity and awe. Humans had always thrived in unknown worlds, and he realized that his presence here was more than symbolic. It was an example of what humans could achieve anywhere in the universe. Later, he joined the Royal Council for a meeting about the city's defenses and future exploration. Arik shared strategies that combined human tactical thinking with Zitharian technology. The energy shields could be improved if we adjust the pulse frequency based on flow patterns, he explained, pointing to a holographic display. And placing sensors at multiple levels can give early warning of any fleet approaching from unusual angles. The council members nodded thoughtfully. Your suggestions are both practical and insightful, Captain Arik. Humans have a way of seeing things we sometimes overlook, one elder said, his glowing eyes reflecting respect. Liara smiled at Arik. See, your perspective is valued. It is proof that humans bring something unique to this universe, creativity, courage, and problem-solving that transcends boundaries. That evening, Arik and Liara walked through the gardens. The floating platforms glowed softly, the energy streams reflecting in their eyes. Arik, Liara said, today we celebrate not just survival, but cooperation. Your actions have shown that humans are capable of bridging worlds. That is something rare and precious. Arik looked at the glowing city beneath them. It's amazing to see how your people work together. Humans can learn from this, and maybe we can also contribute in meaningful ways. Liara's eyes sparkled. And that is why we need you here. Humans and Zitharians together, our knowledge, courage, and creativity combined, can achieve far more than either alone. Over the following weeks, Arik became deeply involved in the daily life of Zitharia. He helped improve energy management systems, guided training exercises, and worked with Liara on diplomatic strategies to maintain peace with neighboring systems. His human ingenuity complemented Zitharian wisdom, producing solutions that neither species could achieve alone. One day, as they tested a newly designed energy bridge, Liara turned to him. Arik, you have shown courage not just in battle but in thought and action. You have inspired our people and shown that humans are capable of adapting to any challenge. Arik smiled, feeling the truth of her words. Humans had always been explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. Zitharia had provided a stage for those qualities to shine in a way he had never imagined. You know, Arik said, back on Earth, we face challenges too. But here I see a new kind of courage. It's not just about surviving. It's about understanding, contributing, and growing alongside others. Humans can do that anywhere. Liara placed her hand on his shoulder. And now you do it here with us. Together we are stronger, and together we will face whatever the universe brings. Weeks turned into months. Arik and Liara worked side by side, building bridges of knowledge, trust, and innovation. The citizens of Zitharia came to see him, not as an outsider but as a hero and mentor. Children asked him about Earth, fascinated by stories of human courage and creativity. Engineers adopted his strategies, blending human methods with Zitharian technology to improve energy efficiency and city safety. One evening, as the three suns set and the moons rose, Liara and Arik stood on a high platform overlooking the city. Arik, she said softly, your presence here symbolizes more than just a partnership between us. It represents the potential of humans to contribute, adapt, and thrive anywhere in the universe. You have proven that courage and ingenuity are not limited to one world. Arik gazed at the glowing towers and gardens. It's incredible to see. Humans have always reached for the stars. But here I see what is possible when we combine knowledge, creativity, and respect for others. I've learned so much from your people, Liara, and I hope we can continue to grow together. Liara smiled. We will. And not just for our own people. Together, humans and Zetherians can explore new worlds, solve conflicts, and create peace where it is needed. The universe is vast, but our partnership proves that cooperation is possible, even between the most different civilizations. As night settled over Zetheria, the city shimmered under the light of 3 moons. Arik and Liara walked among the citizens who greeted him warmly. He felt a profound sense of belonging. Humans were capable of courage, ingenuity, and adaptation, but here he also understood the power of empathy, understanding, and partnership. Weeks later, a new challenge arrived, not an attack, but an opportunity. A delegation from a distant star system requested an alliance with Zetheria. The Royal Council was impressed by Arik's strategic thinking, and Liara asked him to lead the diplomatic discussions. Standing before the alien delegation, Arik drew upon everything he had learned: human ingenuity, courage, empathy, and Zetherian wisdom. He proposed innovative solutions for trade, defense, and cultural exchange. The delegation was impressed, recognizing that humans and Zetherians together could achieve things no single species could. After the meeting, Liara turned to him. You have done more than I expected. Humans truly are remarkable. Your courage, adaptability, and wisdom have strengthened our position in the galaxy. Arik felt a sense of satisfaction and pride. Humans had always been explorers, inventors, and problem solvers. Now he had proven that their potential could extend across the stars, even in worlds unlike their own. As the sun set once more, Liara and Arik stood together, looking at the city they had helped protect and improve. The floating gardens glowed softly and energy bridges shimmered in the twilight. You've proven something important here, Arik, Liara said. Humans are not just survivors, they are thinkers, creators, and partners. Your presence here is a promise of what is possible when we work together. Arik smiled. And I've learned that courage and ingenuity must be paired with understanding and respect. Humans can thrive anywhere, but the universe becomes richer when we combine our strengths with others. The moons rose high above Zetheria, casting a silver glow over the crystalline towers. The city was peaceful, vibrant, and safe, a testament to the power of cooperation, courage, and shared vision. Captain Arik knew that his journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more discoveries, and more adventures. But he also knew that humans had a place among the stars. Through courage, ingenuity, and understanding, they could rise to any challenge, adapt to any world, and build a future beyond imagination. And with Princess Liara by his side, the people of Zetheria as allies, and the vast universe ahead, Arik was ready to embrace every adventure that awaited, confident that humans could leave a mark wherever they went, inspiring hope, creativity, and courage in every corner of the galaxy. The story of Captain Arik and Princess Liara was just beginning. Together, they had proven that unity between species, trust in each other, and courage in the face of the unknown could transform not only a single city, but the future of the stars themselves.